Guys and girls, welcome back to the channel. So today I am on the Super Soco Streethunter. Now don't switch off. I know there's going to be a lot of people that will start going, electric bike. I know there's people out there like that. I've been like that myself, but you can still have a lot of fun on them. And this one today, I'm going to be testing to the max. So as well as the normal walk round, I'm going to do a bit of a performance test on it. I want to see how fast it goes. I'll run through some specifications with you as we're going around it. But ultimately, what you've got to remember with something like this is it's cheap. There's electric bikes out there that have got ridiculous price tags. Upwards of 10, 20, 30,000 pounds. This is a cheap thing. This is something that's quite on par with other 125cc petrol bikes, and it's a similar sort of price. You're talking less than £3,000 for something like this, which if you look in the 125cc market, it's actually right in the middle of it, I think. Let's have a look around it the usual way. And then don't forget to stay for the test drive, because that's where we get to see, is this going to be a replacement for your 125cc petrol bike, or is it not? Let's have a look round. Right then, so there's the close-up. Now, I know looks are always subjective and everyone's got their own opinion on what's nice, what's not nice, but I think looks-wise on this, it's very nice. Let's just go all the way around it so you can see it from every angle. Just looks like a futuristic motorbike to me. I like the look of it. Seat is really comfortable, so seat height on this is 780mm, so it does suit a shorter rider. I am 5'8" with a 29-inch inseam, and I can flat foot both feet. Rear seat, you do have a grab handle, you've got your rear pegs as well. You can see it's on its side stand. There isn't a centre stand on this. Nice and tidy at the rear. It has got disc brakes at the rear and at the front. We'll see how they are on the test ride. Batteries. As standard, this comes with one battery, but you can pay an extra £499 for an extra battery. This version has got both batteries in, and I'll show you where they're kept. You've got a bit of storage, a motorbike with storage. Now, granted, it's not a lot. It's not going to fit a helmet in. It will fit a shopping bag in. I would say if you size wise, you probably get a 6-pack of beers in there. Big enough for that. It's quite deep, not quite up to my elbow when I put my arm in, but it is quite deep. It's a decent size. But when you take that out, we've got the batteries inside here. So the good thing I like with these is they do each individually have power buttons on, and you can check what level of charge they're in. So one press, you can see this one's fully charged. It's got all of the bars lit up. Let's just test this one as well. Same goes with this. A standard one of these at the minute comes with just the one battery. Someone's already paid out for this, so you're getting the benefit of having two batteries without having to pay extra. We'll get onto price shortly. So to charge both of these up, it's not a quick charger. It's just your standard 3-pin plug, and it will take between 3.5 to 4 hours to fully charge. Buttons, just like any standard motorbike really. You've got your horn, you've got your indicator, you've got your high and low beam. That's all for your left side. This does come with 3 modes, so you've got one being the most economical, going up to 3, the least economical but the most power. So when I go on a test ride, I'm going to try all of these modes individually, and then we can see how they perform in each one. The bike is keyless, so you have got this fetching little fob, so this does lock, unlock, and actually starts the ignition. There isn't like an ignition button. A lot of keyless bikes I've seen, you just have to be near the bike with the fob, whereas this one, this little button here, You are live and ready to go. The ignition is on, so it is actually rideable now. Press it again, it goes off. It does have a key, but the key is for here, and your key is just to open up where your storage is and also access to the batteries. You can charge it from the outside. So whilst the batteries do come out and you can charge them individually, you can just do a charge via this port here and it'll charge both batteries. It has got an alarm built in and I believe a tracker as well. Now the only bad thing for that is that if you've got the alarm and tracker running constantly, which let's face it, we will, because that's the whole point of it, then that does use the battery. So if you didn't use this bike for a week or so and you come back to it expecting it to still have a full charge, well, it won't, because the alarm and the tracker will have eaten some of that power. So that's what you've got to be careful of as well. So you can't leave it for a long period of time, because if you did, the battery would just be drained. Let me drop some more facts and figures at you. Now, believe it or not, I am cheating. I've had to write it down. If you were to buy this bike brand new, it would cost you £3,699. Now that is for the basic one battery version. If you want the extra battery, that's another £499. So then you're talking over £4,000 for a new bike with the dual batteries. Now this bike has got about 10 miles on the clock, so let's say it's a new bike. Into Moto are selling this bike for £2,499. So that is just short of a £2,000 off the list price for a new one, and all because it's been registered already. So pretty much half price, not quite half price, but getting there. So if you're looking for one of these, this would be the one I'd go for, just purely because it's so bloody cheap. Another little stat for you. Now these bikes, as we've all been told, electric bikes, they're all really heavy because the batteries are so heavy. Well, this bike in total weighs 101 kilograms. Now 101 kilograms is, well, it's lighter than most scooters. From looking on the Super Soco website, they give a 3-year warranty on the batteries. And I know it's a big concern because everybody is constantly saying, and you're constantly hearing online, if you've got to change a battery, it's going to cost you £28 million. Well, it's not. It's not cheap, granted, but £499 is the cost of a new battery for one of these bikes. When you consider the price that they have been, I think the prices are starting to come down a lot. What do you think? Bear with me with this, because electric bikes, I know they're not for everyone. I know they're not. I know the people that like them, love them. The people that don't like them, despise them. What I'm actually going to do today is just ride it. I'll tell you, is it comfortable? I'll let you know what the performance is like, and importantly, I want to compare it to other 125cc bikes. Is it as fast as those bikes? Is it better than those bikes? Is it more fuel efficient? Is it less fuel efficient? How does it ride in comparison? We'll find out together, so let's go. To move it, to walk it with your feet feels nice and easy. Power wise, it's the equivalent to a 125cc bike. So I'm expecting a 125cc performance, and that's what I'm going to compare it to. This is unbelievably quiet. Doing these slow speeds like I've done so far, you just don't hear anything. Absolutely nothing. It's just like riding a push bike. Normally there's a bit of a whine from the electric motor or a bit of noise, but I'm not getting any of that through so far. Picks up speed really nicely as well. It's not rapid. It's not like what you get with the electric cars where you get all of the power, all of the torque, and it's instant. This is more of a gradual smooth power build-up. So if I was to put this on full throttle now, that is full, and it's picking speed up, but it's picking speed up slowly but surely. Seems to get to your normal road speed quick enough, but it's not what I would call rapid. As a machine to do 30 mile an hour, if that's what you were after, I can't not recommend it, because it's doing what I'm asking of it. The brakes are good. It has the ease of a scooter, where it's just a rev and go. There's no gears to worry about. It's just a simple twist of the throttle, and that's your lot. The things I'm not overly keen on so far, we're just riding around a bit. Not a fan of these indicators, and that is only because they just switch. They're either on your left or on your right, or you've got to move it back to the middle. It doesn't go back to the middle by itself. And I've done it already, where when you've got these big gloves on and you're changing from your left indicator to turn your indicator off, you put your right indicator on, because it's, yeah, you can be a bit sausage finger like when you've got these gloves on, can't you? So that is something I'm sure you get used to, but at the minute for me it's just a bit fiddly and frustrating. But everything else, I'm enjoying the ride of it. It's actually really pleasant. I'm going to pull over here. Whoa, nothing behind me. Okay, what I want to test out is this has got 3 modes. You've got mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. So on mode 1, currently the way the battery is set up on this, it says it's going to do 132 miles. Now mode 1 is going to be your least amount of power, the most fuel efficient way to ride. So I want to see, is mode 1 going to do 30 mile an hour? Can I do normal road speeds? Let's find out. Cool. Now instantly from pulling away, it seems to be a little bit slower picking the speed up, but I am at 30 mile an hour, so it does get to normal road speeds. If you're riding around town on this with both batteries in, believing the figures, it's going to do over 130 miles. Now that isn't actually that bad for a town bike. I think that's actually really good for one of these. Let's try mode 2. So mode 2 drops off as near as, damn it, 30 miles. Let's see performance wise. So yeah, it picks up speed a little bit quicker. Again, not rapid, but you get into 30 mile an hour, an average performing scooter. That's the best way to describe it. So an average performing scooter will get to 30 mile an hour around the same time. Now you put it in mode 3. Now this is less than half the miles in mode 3. So it jumps down to 59 miles, and that is with 2 batteries. So if you only went for the 1 battery option on this, you're not going to get 30 miles out of a full charge. However, if you've got the 2 batteries in, like this one, you're going to get 60 miles out of it in the highest mode. But let's just test, is it worth it? Does the highest mode make that much difference? Got a gap, let's go. So again, I don't think it's picking up speed particularly quickly. I'm on a national speed limit road, so I've got this absolutely pinged. I've got it full throttle, 37, 38 mile an hour seems to be all it's got. I am going uphill at this moment in time, so going uphill does affect any small capacity bike, and it's certainly affecting this, because a steeper part of the hill and I've gone down to 35. Again, if you're only doing 35 or 30 mile an hour roads, if that's what you're going to be spending most of your time on, it doesn't really matter, does it? However, if you're looking for a bike that you can stretch its legs, like most 125s, the good ones in particular, will do over 60. This is, at the minute, really struggling to do over 40, or even struggling to get to 40. When I do any sort of speed test, I tend to use this stretch because there's certain markers down the road. You can see there's a couple of trees on your left, your right, and there's houses and buildings or whatever, but it's a national speed limit road, so legally I can do 60 mile an hour on this road, on this motorcycle, if it's capable of it. I suspect it's not going to be, but most 125s, in fact pretty much all 125s, none of them get to 60 mile an hour on this stretch. It tends to be once you've gone down this road, round the bend, opens up into another straight, and they tend to get to 60 mile an hour on that straight. But a decent performing one will get up to around the 50 mile an hour mark when it comes to the tree on the left hand side. That's a decent performing petrol 125. So let's see what this is going to be capable of, and I would bet, well, I'd be shocked if we've got 40 mile an hour by that tree, just based on the performance up here. But we'll see. I'll keep it pinned. I will see what the maximum speed is, if we're lucky, 45, but we'll see. Let's go. I'm going to have to tuck in and all sorts now to get me speed up. So we're at 30, 36. So the tree where we normally see 50 mile an hour on a petrol 125 is this one here, and we are doing 39 mile an hour on this. So yeah, it loses that momentum as you're getting faster, and it seems to be struggling now. I am at 38 and I've still got it pinned. I am full throttle at this point, and it's just, we're creeping up. 41. Now there is admittedly a bit further down, there's a little bit of a downhill section, so I might get some more speed. Now I would say a bad 125, a cheap 125 would normally have hit 60 by now, and we're at 45. So it's still on full, but we're at 45. Now it goes uphill slightly here, and I would bet that 45 it's going to just start going down. I think the hill might actually affect the speed. Yeah, and it already has. We're on 44, 43. I've still got it completely pinned. And then we've got a 30 mile an hour spot anyway, so I'm going to have to slow down. Anyway, 45 mile an hour was the maximum that it could do, and even that was assisted with a very slight decline. Not great as far as performance, top speed goes. It hasn't got the top speed of a petrol bike. All about saving the environment, and I know there's always arguments, yes, but what about the making of the bike itself and the mining of the battery stuff? And there's loads and loads of arguments that you will have with people, and I'm not getting into that today. I'm not. I don't want to get into that today. Everybody's got their own view about electric vehicles, bikes, cars. I'm quite impartial. I'm riding this bike just to see how it performs, how it rides, is it comfortable, is it a nice bike to ride? The argument over which pollutes the most, which costs the most to run, which costs the most to buy, those arguments will run on for a while, but these in particular are cheap bikes, cheaper than quite a lot of 125cc petrol bikes. Up to 30 mile an hour, I would say these perform just as good as any decent 125 does. It's only once you stretch past 30 mile an hour, that's when really these fall a bit. The purpose of this is to be efficient. It's to get you from A to B cheaply It's to save the environment. You don't have to go to the petrol stations. You can plug it in when you get home, or you can plug it in when you get to work, or you can plug it in practically wherever you've got just a normal household plug. I'm not gonna get into the argument with people about how cheap and efficient scooters are. Oh, scooter right on cue. Today's not that argument, because I know scooters are cheap to run. Some of them will do well over 100 miles per gallon, so I know that they are cheap to run. However, these are cheaper. They are cheaper to run. There's no getting away from it. Financially, yeah, you're not saving a boatload every time you fuel up, but you're saving £1 here and there, or if you're American, $1 here and there. You're gonna save a little bit. It's minimal, but it's still a savings. Let's talk about positives first of all. So positives for a bike like this is you are going to buy the bike quite cheaply. You are going to be able to fuel it quite cheaply. I should imagine because of its performance. I would hope the insurance costs are quite cheap, albeit I've not done any quotes on that, but I would expect they would be relatively cheap in comparison to petrol bikes. The trees are happy. The tree huggers will be happy. Greta probably has one of these on her Christmas shopping list. If you're that way inclined, then yeah, lots and lots of positives. Let's talk negatives, because there are negatives. There's no getting away from the negatives. And the negative, number one for me, is range. These bikes, the range is improving. This has got 2 batteries. Yes, eco mode, it will do 130 miles. Now that is considerably better than what they used to do. So the bikes are getting better, but 130 miles for me is not a day out riding. 130 miles is what you'd ride probably before dinner time, so range is still an issue. Charge speeds. This uses a normal house plug, so charge speeds on this, they're not great. You haven't got the super fast chargers that you have on cars. This won't charge from 20 to 80% in 45 seconds. Joking apart, it's not going to charge like a car. This is an overnight charge. This is hours and hours and hours of charge that you need to get it to 100%. So that for me is a negative, because you're limited then to the amount of miles that you're going to do that day. If you do 5 miles to and from your place of work, place of college, school, whatever, then if you're only doing that amount of miles, then this thing would only need to be charged up once a week, let's say, or once every other week. So that makes it really efficient, because it's going to cost you a very small amount of money. For those people in that situation and what they want the bike for, that would suit them to a T. However, if you are somebody like myself that just decides on a whim, I'm going to go and ride to Scotland, I'll go and do a couple of 100 miles there, you can't do that. If you're that kind of person like me, then they're not suitable for you. There is a definite divide with this bike as to who it suits and who it doesn't. If it suits your needs, then get one. There are pluses and negatives. It suits some, it doesn't suit others. That's the main thing at the minute with electric bikes. It will suit some people and won't suit others. Buy it if it suits you, don't if it doesn't. It's as simple as that. It's a nice bike to ride, it's comfortable, but it's limited. And that's the best way to sum up this bike. Should you want it, I'll put a link in the description. And if you don't, and you were just interested to watch and learn about an electric bike, then thank you very much for watching. I can assure you, next one I go on will be a petrol bike, so please hit that subscribe button. I don't know why I'm doing that, because nobody presses anything like that since we used typewriters like during the war. Right, I'm gonna go. I will catch you all on the next one. Laters.